Today we're going to talk about rescue jacks. Some characteristics of the rescue jacks. The lifting weight limit per column is 4,000 pounds. The static weight limit per column is 7,000 pounds. The extended height is 106 inches. The collapsed height is 51 inches. The jack travels 12 inches. The weight of each column is 53 pounds. And you can interchange the ends to make different things like the manual ram. Alright, some applications. Obviously their primary application is for stabilizing overturned vehicles, but you can use them for a number of different things. You can use them for stabilizing a house if it's unstable or about to come down. You use them for trees. You could use them for a lot of different things if you just think about different ways that you can apply them. Alright, now we're going to talk about how to set up the rescue jacks. The triangle is a basic foundation of the rescue jack. The car, the struts, and the strap create the three sides of the triangle. Using the struts on opposing sides is recommended but not required. The reason why I want to use them on opposing sides because it makes the vehicle more stable. If you only use them on one side, the vehicle is more likely to tip over. Whenever you're setting the strut next to the car that you're going to stabilize, you want to get about an arm's length away from the vehicle, and that's where you put the base of the strut. Some of the purchase points is you have the chain wrap and the chain grab. With this part of the C end, you can use it to grab a hold of a chain that you've got slung underneath the car. You've got the C end to the undercarriage. Obviously you can use this to grab a hold of the undercarriage of the vehicle. You can use a round point to a knockout, and how you use that is you just take either a pickhead axe or a Halligan bar and knock a hole in the body of the car, and you can put that round point into that hole and it'll hold onto the car. And you use the C end of the post. So that's just a door frame or a window frame of the car. All right, when you're putting up the base restraints, you want to make them in line with the strut. You don't want them off this side or anything like that because that can make the strut unstable. Also, the biggest angle possible is less than 90 degrees. You don't want the base restraints more than 90 degrees with the strut. And also, when you're putting base restraints, you don't want to attach them to the top of the car. You want to attach them low to the ground. With a single-sided setup, you want to use caution. Like I said earlier, it's more likely that the car will tip or roll if you're only using one post. A way you can increase your safety is using tie lines. So once you got the strut set up on the car, you can use a tie line and just go tie it to the car kind of high up and tie it back to a tree or tie it to a post back behind the rescue jack. The opposing strut setup is a recommended setup. It's more stable than a single side setup. Whenever you're setting up, you should always allow for a lift. And you want to use caution with four-sided lifting shapes. By four-sided lifting shapes, that means both of the struts is one side. The base restraint that goes from strut to strut is a side, and the top of the car is a side. That's kind of unstable because it allows the car to sway back and forth, get off balance, and it could tip over. This is just some examples of some strut setups. The first one is four-sided. It's less stable than the rest. The next one has got more purchase points. As you can see, instead of going from strut to strut, those base restraints are hooked into the chain. It lets the car sway less, and it gives you more stability. And then on the bottom picture, the base restraints are hooked into the car, and they're hooked from rescue jack to rescue jack. So that's the most stable setup that they have. All right, when you're setting the struts, you don't want greater than a 90-degree angle. So the angle in between the strut and the ground should always be less than 90 degrees. The greater the angle, the more unstable it is. Alright, so when you're lifting, you want to prevent sliding, you want to take a look at the car, you use cribbing, tie line, stakes, have all your stuff ready to go. You want to place the jack stand at the A-post on the passenger side. You want to connect the base restraint to the opposite A-post. You want to place another stand on the other side of the vehicle opposite the first and connect the base to the undercarriage of the vehicle. You want to tighten the jacks and base restraints and lift from here and crib as you go. For a roof resting vehicle, Again, you want to start off with making sure the vehicle won't slide. Make sure you have all your cribbing and tie lines handy. You apply the chain to the rear of the vehicle. That's when you get the chain held in the chain grab, go underneath the vehicle and then into the other rescue jack. You want to place the jack stands at each fender. You want to attach the sway straps to the chain, and you want to tighten the jacks and base restraints to stabilize, and then you can lift from there and crib as you go. For the wheel resting side lift, again, as always, you want to prevent sliding or shifting. Make sure you have all your cribbing and tie lines handy. You want to place the strut between the A and B posts. You want to engage the large J hook and chain assembly. You want to engage it near the strut head and wrap around the opposite side of the vehicle. Then attach the base restraint or onboard ratchet strap to the chain assembly. Tighten jacks and base restraints to stabilize, and then you can lift from here and crib as you go. Alright, for the wheel resting two-side lift, you want to apply the struts to the rear roof post. You want to tie opposing bases together with chain or ratchet strap. You want to tighten the jacks to stabilize, attach the sway straps, and lift from here and crib as you go. Alright, so this is a summary. Obviously, you can use rescue jacks for a whole lot more than just stabilizing vehicles. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you've got it set up in the most stable way possible, and use all the ratchet straps and base restraints that are provided to give you the most safe lift that you can get.